Mohan Babu has apologized, but does an apology really suffice for what he has done, especially given the seriousness of the assault? We're talking about 3 fractures here.
Seriously, ma'am. Good evening, good afternoon to you and good afternoon to the viewers. Ma'am, the हिंदी में कहावत है, 100 चुवा का वाला बुल्ला बिल्ली हज यात्रा को निकला करके. ऐसा इन्हें the way he has acted, pretended before hitting them with the mic to the reporter, he smartly came with a namaskar and again he pulled the mic and hit it in the presence of police itself. If you really look into the visuals, and it is nothing but a hidden agenda what he is intended to do, which is got executed. Later, after getting 2 days consideration from the respective police and the court, he is smartly addressing the press, citing very clearly, writing a letter that my intentions and my contentions. When your intentions and contentions are not in straight line, why the hell you have done this? And it needs to be today. Police rushed to Allu Arjun's house. Instead of that, they would have rushed to Mohan Babu's house, and if they would have arrested him, things would have been pacified. There is no mercy for this gentleman, and he has not even bothered to give respect to the society. First of all, if you really go into the history of what sort of assaults he has been done in the total career as far as the film fraternity industry is concerned. Other than that, he just behaves like a anti-social element along with his family. And he never give proper code of conduct in the society. And he takes things as granted. And all these days, he's been considered with a lot of excuses. That's why he's doing like this.
Right, Mr. K.S. Prasad, and also, I want to understand from you, what does this incident really say about the accountability for celebrities? Do they get to sort of, just apologize and move on, or should there be stricter consequences? I ask this especially because Mohan Babu is a repeat offender.
Yeah, ma'am. What you said was 100% right. If you go into their minute details for all set of things, they need proper attention from the proper reporters, press, and everything they want. But if they do something wrong, then they don't want absolutely no attention to be given to the police, press, and they do whatever they want. These things have been taken as granted. If you really look into the journalists, when they questions in a way, they answers. If they asked in a tricky way, they give abnormal answers. Even after, we need to tolerate them. Is it the way to conduct? Is it the way to give answers? These things cannot be questioned, these people. As far as they have a decorum that they have been called as the celebrities. Until and then, all human beings are equal. If the same treatment is not being given to these people, and the society and some sort of institutes, they give some sort of considerations to the people, particularly these particular political background fraternities. Other than that, if nobody is there in the politics, if you're really into some darshan is in Karnataka, he's smartly been arrested. Allu Arjun today, there is no political background. That family has been isolated, so he has been arrested. And they are into the police custody. When they have some sort of political lines, then these people tolerance by the institutions, please consider that. This is serious thing. People needs to understand. This has to be properly addressed by the journalists. Then only these people's ideologies towards press and journalists will be changed.
Right, and also, Mr. Prasad, the actor claims he was protecting himself from so-called anti-social elements. Do you think this explanation somewhere justifies the violent altercation, especially, when media personnel were involved?
Yes, ma'am. He kept all sort of bouncers and all. Those are nothing but anti-social elements. What sort of this thing? And when all journalists and press and along with the cameramen are anti-social elements, that's where he is taking protection. Instead of he takes the protection. We all need to take protection from these sort of people. These sort of people's attitude, these sort of people's aggressions, for which journalists should have protection. With the police protection, some sort of grill needs to be provided, and the questions have been shooted, then these sort of personal reactions shouldn't be there. Instead of journalists, the society needs to give protection to the journalists. These people smartly asking protections. Already these people have been protected. They have smartly gone into the hospital with some sort of silly reasons. And after 2 days also, nothing has been done. Today, his address is smartly pressed and given a press note, stated all sort of apologies. Before that, his son and his own attitude was totally not tolerable. This sort of attitude they shown to us. Even after these people have been considered, means there is no sense, there is no considerations at all. Police needs to take an immediate action. He needs to be behind the bars, and all sort of awards what have been given. People are talking about Mike. It is nothing but an iron rod that needs to be understood. is nothing but an iron weapon, which he is absolutely brutally used against a journalist.
Right, and also, how often, Mr. Prasad, do we see these public figures behaving like this, clearly high on power and simply getting away with an apology? Isn't this setting a dangerous precedent for others?
Definitely, ma'am. These people say apologies to the press, particularly to journalist fraternities, not to be tolerable. Not to be tolerable. After yesterday's MD of TV9, who has done the protection against these people in the film chamber, then only these people are mulled down. And unfortunately, his son is happened to be the Ma president. And this sort of decorum the people are maintaining. Before that, they're giving all sort of pravachnas stating that we are the family, we are the disciplined family, we have set some sort of benchmarks to the disciplines and all. And when it comes to this thing, they simply says all smart sorries and all smart excuses as far as the letters are concerned. This Maradona situation, why it is not there from the day one? Intentions, and see the contentions. Intentionally has done that. And all are there to protect them. And along with these bouncers, what is the reactions? If you really look into those visuals, how they have both the children and himself are conducted in
and Mr. Prasad then coming out with an apology and saying, "Oh, I am sorry for what I have done." I mean, just imagine the audacity. First, you hit our reporter. He suffers 3 fractures, and somehow you think, okay, after 3 odd days, I will apologize, and somehow they're supposed to be okay. I mean, clearly.
That's what I'm saying, ma'am. You need not to be considered, because he needs to check with properly whether he has taken some drugs or alcohol and other things, because he is not properly conducting as per the society values. Odd man out and out of the order behavior. Definitely, before that he might have consumed something. Then only these sort of odd behaviors will come in society. Otherwise, all sort of people, why they are not behaving like that? If you really go to the film fraternity in the Telugu industry, he and his family are the only odd man outs. This behavior is not tolerable. But even after, he's been surviving because of the considerations and apart from that age.
Mr. Prasad, for
age
joining
is the
us.
biggest excuse for him. Otherwise, he will never be spared in the industry.
Right.
And he is always in frustration because other children are flourishing. His children are nothing but just puppets and parasites. They're eating, they're sitting on his head and they're eating even today. And there is a family problem is nothing but he's taking one of the movie for 100 crores.
Of course, Mr. Prasad, and the fact that, it's his family feud, he chose to make it public. The reporter is doing his job. Why would you just go on and hit him he didn't provoke you? I mean, this is bizarre.
That's what I'm saying. He himself provoked, and he's assuming that guys will be provoking him. That is
right.
Brutal. That is ridiculous. When he is himself in provoking situation, obviously he's anticipating others to provoke. Need not. You and your family are in provocation situations only. So there is no consideration.
Absolutely.
And they are not conducting as per the code of conduct of society.